Today's video is going to be a Q&A. You asked me questions and I'm going to answer them. Let's get to it. And yes, I'm actually drinking from my own mug. If you want a print or a mug, go to my Redbubble store. So the first questions that I'm going to answer are questions that I get frequently on my YouTube videos that I've actually got the answer to on my Tumblr FAQ. So I thought I'd answer them in a video so that everyone's on the same page. First, most commonly asked question is, what program and tablet do you use? I use Photoshop CC and I use a Cintiq 22-inch HD tablet. Now you know. What tablet should I get? So a lot of people have asked me what tablet they should get because they think I have some sort of authority, and I really just, let's put it out there, I have no authority on this. I'm not an expert, but I do my best. So if you go onto my Tumblr page, artofpan.tumblr.com, I have a tag on there called Tablet Talk, and those are all of the posts that I've made and answered about advice on tablets. My basic advice is to just do a little bit of research and see what suits your style and budget. You can make beautiful artwork with any tablet, and there's so much proof out there to show that. So yeah, don't feel like you need to invest in a hideously expensive tablet unless you want to. What brushes do I use? I use one of the default Photoshop brushes, and I've changed a couple of the settings. I might put it right there so you can check it out. I've just changed the transfer options and the shape dynamics options, which is that depending on your pen pressure it gets lighter or darker and etc. Makes it more like a traditional pencil. Lately though, I've been using Ahmed Aldori's brushes. People are probably sick of me talking about him because this is the third video that I've mentioned his name, but he does have some cool brushes that he made from the default brushes on Photoshop as well, so link to that. Do you sell prints anywhere? Yes, I have a Redbubble page, so you can check that out. There's fan art as well as original art on all sorts of different merch, so link. Do I have any tutorials? Yes! So I've obviously got the tutorials that I've got on my YouTube channel, and I've got tutorials that I did on Tumblr. I think there's one on colour, there's one on hair, there's one on noses and eyes, probably other stuff too. They're all under the tag tutorial, so just check that out, and if there's something there that you want to see as a tutorial but I haven't done yet, let me know and I'll probably do it. How long have I been drawing? I've been drawing all my life. I can't remember any time that I wasn't drawing, but I would say that the time that I started taking it seriously and really get sucked into the void never to return is around the age of 14 or 15. Do I take requests? No, sorry, I used to, but not anymore, since I used to get so many that it just got intimidating, and I got busy with stuff that I actually got paid for, so I didn't really have time for requests anymore. That said, you could drop me a request, and if I really like it I might do it, but there's not a huge chance of that. I do take commissions. My commissions are closed at the moment because I've just got a bunch of other projects going on, but as soon as I have time again I'll make a post about it with my commission prices and everything, so if you're interested in a commission, stay tuned for that. Can you draw me? I might. Probably not though, same as with the requests. If you really want a portrait done by me, commission me when my commissions are back open. And now on to the questions that weren't on the FAQ page, but people asked me when I mentioned I was going to make a Q&A video. So Imagining Art asked, do you go to school or college, and if so, where? And if so, do you like it? So I go to the Dunedin School of Art in Dunedin, which is where I live, and I do like it sometimes. It really depends. Sometimes there's projects that sort of are restricting or uninspiring, so that can happen sometimes, but for the most part I really like it, and I really like having people there that are like-minded. That's a great plus of art school, that you can meet a bunch of people like you and be inspired by each other. Falling in Lulls asked, favourite Harry Potter character? That's such a hard question. My stock answer for this is Sirius Black, which will probably not surprise anyone, but there are so many characters that I adore, so it would be yeah, it's difficult choosing one. Between Paper Pages asked, what inspires me? Mostly I get the most eager to draw when I see the art of people that I really admire. John Singer Sargent, who makes the most amazing tonal depth in his paintings, or used to, he's dead now. Frida Kahlo, Lucian Freud, Edward Hopper, and then there are more contemporary artists obviously as well, so illustrators and animators and concept artists and all that cool stuff. Stop to Smell the Dandelions asked me about my username. Pan is a nickname that my dad gave me when I was younger, and I asked him and he can't remember why he gave it to me, and I can't remember why he gave it to me either. I don't think it's a reference to the Greek god Pan. There's also obviously Peter Pan. I like the fairy tale sort of aspect of it, and it stuck, so there's that. Also, it's way simpler than Aisha, which is my real name. People don't know how to pronounce it, people don't know how to spell it, so Pan is nice and easy and cool. Anonymous asks, when you are drawing poses for your drawings, do you always build the pose based on references, or do you create the pose yourself and then figure out the anatomy with references? Sometimes I rely on reference a lot, and sometimes I don't rely on it at all. In my sketchbook at the moment, I am trying not to use reference whatsoever, so that's a place where I can just put all of my pure brain energy, and then for my illustrations I usually will look up a reference, or sometimes if I have a very specific pose in mind I'll do the pose myself and take a photo. I do recommend using reference if you're ever struggling with a pose. That's the thing, like if I'm drawing and the pose is coming out freely from my brain and it's going well, I'm not going to bother with looking up a reference. But if I'm drawing and the arms just don't look quite right or something like that, I'll take a photo of me doing the same pose, or I'll look up a pose, and it's just for those moments of uncertainty. I definitely recommend life drawing. If people ever have the opportunity to do that, because it helped me a lot. Caffeine Bay asked, what's your favourite way to colour traditionally, as in which pens or materials do you prefer using? I do not discriminate with materials. That said, I do really like using mechanical pencil because it's always sharp and you can get a lot of tonal range because it goes very dark and it goes very light. I really like using Copic markers because the colours are awesome and they're just really pigmented and you can blend them really well, and they're just super fun to use. I use pretty much everything. Anu Kaias asked 3 questions. When did you realize you wanted to give your life to art? When I was coming out of high school, I had to choose between university and art school, and it plagued me for weeks coming up to the decision I had to make. And in the end, the decision I made was because I knew that I would regret it forever if I let the chance go by that I could do art for the rest of my life. So yeah, that was the dog. The second question that Anukaias asked, how do you feel now about your art? I had a bit of a dark moment in my art because I felt like I wasn't creative enough. I feel better about it now. I'm sketching every day and I can definitely see an actual result coming out of that, so that's awesome. No, feeling good. Thanks for asking. And the third question that I got from Anukaias is, for me, it's really hard to get into social media. I'm very shy on the internet. Can you give me some advice, please? It's a totally understandable problem. A lot of people are shy about putting their artwork on the internet, and I think the root of that is that people are afraid that people will think their work is bad, and I don't think that people should be afraid of that, because the worst thing that could happen is that people don't look at it at all, and that's not even that bad. So I think that there's a definite benefit to putting your art on the internet. I love going back way to the start and seeing what I started with, and it's much easier to find all that work that way rather than rooting through boxes and stuff and finding your childhood drawings crumpled up. And also it's really cool to see what you were talking about concerning your art back then. Like, I was really proud of certain drawings that I hate now, and that's okay. I'm not ashamed of them. So yeah, I don't know. I guess if you look at it that way as opposed to putting it out for the world to see, you're putting it out for your future self to look back on and you know, have a bit of fun. And then another thing is that I really like putting my art on the internet because of the feedback, and I think the feedback is really healthy, and eventually it's good because that's what progresses your art practice. So yeah, at first maybe try it out, post a couple things, wait a couple weeks, see how it goes, and then sort of build up to it slowly.
Moon and you, marching